is my pleasure to formally welcome us as we get the event started. And one more time, thank you to our virtual guests joining us online. Like I did say earlier, it will be great to know where you are actually joining this event from, whatever part of the world you are. Please drop in the comment section your name, your location, and of course what you do. We would love to engage with you. Ladies and gentlemen, those who are viewing online and for us in person here, please feel free to engage with us online using the hashtag the power of TEPS. The power of TEPS. That is TEPS. The power of TEPS. That is the hashtag we will be using all through this event. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, it is to get into the groove of things. And at this point in time, I would like to welcome someone who will be setting the tone, preceding the conversations that will be had at some point this evening. He is an experienced marketing and communications expert with a multifaceted career cutting across different regions within the country and outside of the continent. He has had experience collaborating with multiple agencies, industries, and partners across different sectors, and of course, involved in various projects. He was the head of brand management and marketing at Harris Insurance and Harris Life Limited, both investees companies of Harris Holdings Limited. And of course, he has spent over a decade with Guaranteed Trust Bank in several key roles, including head, brand management and experiential marketing, corporate communications, media relations, product promotions, campaigns, activations, amongst others. He is currently regional head of marketing and corporate communications at EcoBank Nigeria, with the responsibility of implementing strategic public relations initiatives and collaborations to ensure that the bank remains the go-to bank for Pan-African trade transactions. He holds a distinction with a master's degree in business management from the University of Portsmouth, a postgraduate degree in business administration from Queen Mary University of London, both in the United Kingdom, and he also holds a BSc in urban and regional planning from the University of Lagos, an alumnus of the Pan-African University's executive program on strategic business leadership. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with pleasure I would like to introduce to you a member of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, NIPR, a National Institute of Marketing of Nigeria, and a member of the Chartered Management Institute, CMI, United Kingdom. He's also a member of the CBN's Creative Industry Financing Initiative Committee and the General Secretary of the Association of Corporate Affairs Managers of Banks. With pleasure, it is my honor to please call on our distinguished keynote speaker, Mr. Babajide A. Shikbe. A round of applause for Mr. Shikbe.
And everything you teach, everything you shot, and
thank you very much, and good afternoon, everyone. I'm not sure if all of those degrees were things that I actually got or how I got them. Sometimes when they read my bio and I'm like, all these things, I'm like, when did I actually have the time, to gather all of these degrees and certificates and all of that stuff? But sometimes when you are in a particular field, there are certain things that are required of you, and a lot of times you have to push yourself to get some of those things just to add up, to your profile and make you look good in a certain type of way. Okay, but I'm happy to be here. Thank you very much, Toby, for inviting me, especially to give the keynote address. When you sent me that message, I was like, how do I qualify to give a keynote address? And I'm like, okay, what am I going to say? But for me, I've been in the events industry for over 20 years, starting from when I was in school and when we were just rascals, just trying to find a way around making money. And then from there, we started hustling, and then we felt like the best hustle for us was basically just organizing stuff, collecting money from people, helping them to just put something together, whether they like it or not, they'll figure it out later. But it was hustling that led me to events management, and from events management to being in corporate comms in a bank, and then from being in corporate comms in a bank as a junior officer to leading a department, the corporate communications department in EcoBank. And it's been an interesting journey because I might not go too much into my slides, so I'm just going to talk. It's been an interesting journey because if I look at how the events industry has grown from 20 years ago till now, there's a major transformation, there's a major change, especially just before COVID started. You realize that before COVID started, we took events to a whole new level, a whole new dimension. Like we started doing all sorts of crazy things, and it was almost like, you know what, there's nothing impossible for the Nigerian events industry, and the good thing about it is that it wasn't just about the social events that were getting more exciting. The corporate events too were a bit more interesting as well. The entertainment events too got interesting. Even things like theater performances and stuff like that got really interesting. And so after a while, we realized that events was no longer that thing that you just did because you wanted to make money, right? There was the money aspect of it, but there was the part where we started to make a statement and we started to do more interesting, grand things, and then we started to make a statement, and then it started to affect the Nigerian's GDP. It started to affect the socioeconomic space. And now events is not just about money, but it's more about making impact. All right. You see, for events, it's not just about sometimes when I see how people do events now, we've moved away from just the planning aspect of it to now proper production, the entire experience. And so when I think about events, especially for a lot of us in this room, I'm sure that when you go to any event, you're almost looking around to you're very finicky. You're almost there, you're touchy, you're edgy. You're like, did they put this together properly? What's the stage looking like? What's the table looking like? What's the decor looking like? What are the guests? How are they feeling about this event? Is it what I expect? Is it what they expect? And so you realize that event is a total package that starts from pre-planning to the actual organization of the event, and then to the post-production. And that's why what Toby is doing today, I think, is very brilliant, because it's taking people away from not just the planning, but to the entire structure of what an event should be like. All right? Because a lot of people almost forget the end result when they're planning events. All right, your client comes and is like, okay, this is what I want. Okay, how do you want to execute? Or if you're working in a corporate environment like me, your boss comes and says, okay, I want us to do this. And, they just give you the brief. And nobody's thinking of the end product, And it's important that you think of the end product. And in thinking of the end product, it's important that you're able to think about the total package and that experience that you want people to take away. Because if I go for an event, especially now, I'm already thinking, what am I taking away from this event? What am I going to learn? How am I going to feel about this event? All right, so events now do something to me as a person beyond just the excitement that I'm getting from it. Sometimes I'm thinking, did I learn anything from this? Did I acquire anything from this? Did I do anything that is different from attending this event? And so it's just interesting that we're having this conversation at this time, and it's interesting that Toby is launching this app that helps us to build a total experience when it comes to events management. Let me just quickly run through. So interestingly, before I came, there's an event that we're planning in my office with TEPS. And as I was talking about the events with the guys in TEPS, we started talking about the design of the flyers, the people that we are inviting, and all of that stuff. And we had a meeting earlier today, and we said, you know what, let's stop. Do we just want to have an event for the sake of having an event? Or what do we want to take out? That was the first thing. The second thing, we started thinking about who are the people we want to invite for this event? What type of people do we want to invite? How are we going to generate that interest to make sure that people are actually interested in coming for this event? And in less than 24 hours of having that conversation, of just thinking through what experience you want people to have, we've had over 1,000 people register. But prior to that, 2 or 3 days of publicity, we didn't have up to 100 people. But the thing about it is this: once you start to think and strategize and plan and think through the total package of what you want to do, you start to achieve better results. And I think this is the entire idea behind what Toby is trying to do. What's the total package? What's the experience you want people to have? How do you gather data? How do you manage the data? How do you ensure that that data works for you, especially for specific purposes? Because sometimes not every event is aimed at everyone, all right? Not every event is for everybody, all right? So we're having something for fintech, but we're not, ordinarily as a bank, you just think, let's send it out to all our customers, okay? And we think that, okay, yeah, by the time you send it to all our customers, they'll respond. We did that and we failed, all right? And we thought, okay, you know what? How do we make it better? Who do we partner with? Who is going to give us that, the number of people that we want, the type of people that we want to talk to, and who is going to help us to ensure that the conversation that we want to have for that event is actually is excellent, and they deliver the type of how do I call it? The kind of experience, talk, involvement, interest, and all of that in what we're doing. And so we realized that partnerships, collaborations, right kind of conversations, right type of planning is very important. Obviously, I've spoken about this. There was a big change before COVID. COVID came. There's the total change in our lifestyle, in our behavior. Stay at home, be safe, keep your distance, don't go out, and all of that stuff. But now events have come back bigger, better. People are thinking of how do we change the way we organize events. Someone was asking me that, is a hybrid event, is it better than a physical event? But the truth of the matter is this: for me, I think you can't do without a hybrid event anymore. That's the truth. It's come to stay. We have to live with it, and we have to think about how we're going to plan our events. Some will be physical because you can't take away physical events as well. Some will be completely virtual because you can't take away virtual events. And some will be hybrid events because of the nature of the event that you're trying to organize. But the truth of the matter is this: if you're able to think through your audience, think through the people that are going to participate, you'll be able to determine what type of event you want to organize, how you want to organize it, the type of communication that you want to put out there to generate the level of interest that you want. Obviously, you know that obviously everybody is going hybrid now. Everybody is going tech. We have fintech, we have health tech. And the question for me is, why can't we have event tech? All right? Why can't we have conversations around using technology to organize real experiences, events that would actually be successful, would actually generate the needed amount of interest that everyone wants out there. So for me, it's about putting attendees first, and at the heart of every innovation is the user. At the heart of every event is the user. At the heart of every experience you're putting together is the user. And when it comes to event, the global disruption is synonymous with tech must start with the attendees and end with all the stakeholders in mind. Who are your stakeholders? Your stakeholders start from the planners to the decorators to the lights guys, to the camera guys, to the guys that are setting up anything for you, to the guys that are attending, to the people that are registering, to the people that are putting up the wristband, to your ushers, to your speakers, to everybody, okay? How do we bring everybody together into that ecosystem where they begin to realize there's just one goal for this event and we must all achieve that objective? And this is what this is all about. Thinking through how we can achieve that goal for any event that we want to organize. Because sometimes we think through, different people have different things that they want to achieve from an event. The chairperson just wants to come and supply his chair, make his money, and get out. The usher just wants to just make sure that people are well seated and well behaved, and then she's done her job. Other people just come in with different things. I mean, the camera person, the sound person, plug and play, and we're good. But nobody is thinking through, what's the experience? What's that thing that everybody is going to take away? You can think through, especially for those of us that organize events a lot, you can think through and spend a lot of time thinking through this chair. No, I want this type of chair. No, this is not the type of chair that will be nice. I want another type of chair. No, when my guests come in, this is the mood I want them to feel. All right, and then you're thinking about the lights, you're thinking about the camera, you're thinking about the sound, you're thinking about all of these things, okay? And so that connects everybody together into a room or a space where there's one goal, one objective, and everybody is able to speak with one voice. You need to change this, please. Everybody is able to speak with one voice. Everybody is able to achieve a common objective, okay? And then at the end of the day, our outcome as a group, all right, is the best outcome. So sometimes when you're thinking about how we want to organize the event, we have meetings, we have all those things, but what is the purpose of our meeting? What are we talking about? An event is almost like a strategy session. Putting it together, you're thinking through, what am I achieving? And then afterwards, what's the post-event report? What does he say? What does he achieve? How are we going to get better? All right? That evaluation of each activity or each event is very critical. And so this is about doing things better. It's about stepping up the game. It's about achieving better results. It's about getting better within this space. It's about ensuring that we're able to have seamless events, seamless experiences, having more excellent activations, ensuring that whatever we're doing has a purpose to it, ensuring that we're not just doing things for the sake of doing it, ensuring that we're able to think through each step as we are planning and organizing our events, and ensuring that at the end of the day, the future, the end goal, the result is actually achieved. Because if you don't achieve your result for whatever you're planning, whatever event you're putting together, then all of that is just a waste. And a lot of us spend so much time planning, but not thinking through what the end result will be. We spend so much effort. We are just planning. But what do you want to achieve? Do you get? Now, the thing is, a lot of us, especially for me working in a corporate environment, we think through, if I call an event planner and say, do something for me, and you're not asking me what I want to achieve from it, I already know that you're not really serious about your business. And that's the truth. If your client calls you and your client says, I want to do X, Y, Z, and you're not asking the client for what purpose, for what reason, what's your audience, what type of audience are you expecting, what do you want your audience to take away from this, how do you want your audience to feel, what do you want them to think about when they leave 2-3 days after, a week after, a year after. I'm sure there are some events you've gone for that a year after, you're still thinking about that event, like, this was a good event. I don't mind going for this event again. From when you registered, to the communication, to the amount of emails they sent you to remind you about the event, to how the event was properly organized, to how after the event they reached out to you again and told you, thank you very much for coming. I hope you enjoyed yourself. Would you please give us feedback and all of that? Those are the type of events that you remember more because those events took you through a journey. And that journey is what we are starting today. Thank you.